It's Stephanie Liu. Welcome to another episode of Lights, Camera, Live. Come on through. This is gonna be fun. I think this is actually the first episode of Lights, Camera, Live this year. I've lost count. Because last week I had digital confetti. I was on Go Live Now this morning, and now Lights, Camera, Live. It's been a lot. I've changed outfits probably like 3 times already. Shout out to Mike Alton, who is here in the house. Thank you, Mike. Thank you also for making this wonderful, amazing introduction, because I absolutely love my guests, and you will too. Come on in. We're going to talk about all the things about how you can build strategic partnerships, tools that you can use to build your brand and your bottom line. So this is the episode. This is it. If you're like, hey, I want to make new revenue, new partnerships, new relationships in 2021, this is it. This is it. You can stop scrolling because you found it. You found the show. Got 5 more seconds and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, everyone. Hey, what's up? My name is Stephanie Liu, and welcome to a new episode of Lights, Camera, Live, where we shine a spotlight on the best and brightest marketers in the industry so you could take your business from unknown to unfreaking forgettable. And I want to give a big, huge shout out to the good friend, one of my really good friends, is Mike Alton. And he says, so excited for today's show because we have an amazing guest. Not only that though, but look who just showed up. Oh my goodness, yes! I know, 2 shows in 1 day. It's a thing. It did a whole wardrobe change, got the hair done, all the things and all the things. So hey, look, listen. If you are interested in leveling up your business in 2021, if you want to build more strategic partnerships, and I'm not talking just about like, oh, can you sponsor a post? I'm talking about brand sponsorships, brand partnerships, right? Then this is going to be the episode for you, because when we talk about strategic partnerships, we're talking about like when a company is thinking about their roadmap for 2021, are you a part of that conversation? Do you have a seat at that table? Do you know anyone on that marketing team? And not only that though, not just like one person, but do you know like 5 people on that team? So this is the show for you. We're going to be talking about strategic partnerships, and I cannot be much more excited because I've been using this software solution for probably like the past month, and I've been geeking out at. You guys know that I absolutely love my tools. So these are tools that you can use. And having said that, let me go ahead and introduce you to my guest. Let's give it up for Michaela Underdahl. So she is the Senior Community Manager at Nimble CRM. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here because you know everything that there is to know about influencer marketing, everything that's PR related. You've done webinars about relationships. And I think the beautiful thing that most people have to remember is that there are resources in relationships. And so now is the time to build them, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Thank you for having me.
So how was your new year? How you doing?
Doing well. New Year's was low-key, stayed home. I was one of the people that didn't even make it to midnight. So, yep. But to my defense, I do have a 5-month-old baby that does not sleep through the night. So I nap and sleep when I can. Whenever I can.
I totally hear you because my daughter is 5 years old. And this was the very, very first time that we actually stayed up until midnight, which I was like, this has never happened before. So it was awesome and it was good. Shout out to Devin, who is joining the show. He watched Go Live Now earlier. We also got Gabrielle, Leo. Just, you guys are fam. I absolutely love having all of you here. We're going to have a good time. All right. So a question for all of you that are watching. I want to know that when you are live streaming and you have leads coming through, people that are connecting with you, they want to learn more about your business, your product, or your service, are you tracking those leads? And if so, how are you doing it, right? what was really interesting, Michaela, is that when I had told someone, oh, hey, I'm using Nimble to check out my sales pipeline, they're like, what is that? And I was like, well, like, wouldn't you want to know, like, how many times you've had a conversation with someone? Did they come in through your website? Did they hit you up on LinkedIn? Like, where did they come from? They're like, oh, I just have a post-it note. I was like, oh, this is like post-it notes
No.
on a whole nother level, right? I was like, you want to pay attention because this is the show. And as a matter of fact, the reason why you want to be here is because we also have Amy Iram on here. And so she is an absolute fantastic NLP practitioner and coach. And so happy to have her here. So having said that, Michaela, give us the quick spiel. What is Nimble CRM?
So CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management Tool. It sounds very boring. Basically, what it is tool, an app. It's in the cloud that helps you to put all your contacts into it. And we all know that our contacts are everywhere. We have them in Outlook contacts, Google contacts. We have relationships on LinkedIn, Facebook groups, on our phone. So Nimble helps you bring them all together. We tie them with your calendar and your communication. So then you have one place where you can go to, see a contact record for the certain individual. You know how you met them. Did somebody refer them to me? What is it that I've done with them? And what are the next steps that need to happen with them? And who, me or somebody else on my team, is responsible for getting those things done. So that's what Nimble does.
You guys, this is absolutely amazing. So shout out to Ryan who said, no, never thought of tracking the leads. Ryan, this is an important conversation to have, right? Because as Michaela had mentioned, we have contacts everywhere. Whether it's in your email, LinkedIn DMs, I get those all the time, Twitter DMs, all those other things. It's helpful for me to know where I met them. Did they watch a specific episode? Because the earlier show that I did today, we were talking about content frameworks. And so if someone says like, hey, I loved your show, I'm like, oh, that's because you're really into content marketing strategy. And now I could put in that contact record that you just said, like, oh, Michaela's really interested in content frameworks, right? So I could maybe I want to get her a copy of the book Contagious by Jonah Berger. But it's those personal things that you could add to these contact records. That's probably like one of the favorite things that I love about Nimble is that I could add these notes. I'd be like, oh, hey, we chatted about the 10 by 10 formula. This person also knows Mike Koenigs, or they know Mike Alton. Like, honestly, who doesn't know Mike Alton?
I'm like,
I feel like everyone knows Mike Alton.
yeah. And then how we met.
Yeah, and we met through Mike Alton. Yeah, so he is like the person to connect with. And if you're already in the Facebook comments, he's probably already commenting. Just go ahead and click on his profile, get to know him, right? Get to know him and all of that amazing stuff. So Nimble has been around for years because I remember when I first dipped my toe into social media, it was like 10, 15 years ago. But Nimble has been around for a very, very long time, right?
Yeah, around 10 years.
That's amazing. And so much has happened because there's so many cool features. So let's first talk about like why someone would be interested in leveraging a CRM, which for those of you that are new to this, CRM stands for Client Relationship Management, correct? Am I right? Yes or yes?
Customer relationship management or client.
Okay, got it. So why would someone like, let's say, who was that earlier? That was Ryan. Why would someone like Ryan want to track leads or just use a CRM like Nimble?
I suppose he has a business. He does something or he works somewhere, and he's meeting a lot of people everywhere. He's working with some people. He's doing business development with people. He goes to conferences when it's possible, but probably attends some virtual events, and he talks to people on social media. And because he networks a lot, he's getting referrals and people are introducing him to people. And then it's a lot. If he's doing the things right, he knows a lot of people that are recommending and introducing a lot of people, and he can put them on the sticky note Probably not ideal because if you have hundreds of them, it's very likely that you'll lose at least some of them. You can put it in a spreadsheet, but it's in a spreadsheet where you have to spend a lot of time putting the information in manually. It doesn't update for you. So a tool like Nimble, through our Chrome extension, that allows you to basically bring all these people in within seconds. So it saves you time on manual data entry, puts them in one place, and once you have them in one place, it allows you to set up the next steps so you don't forget. So I can set up a reminder, hey, call Stephanie, follow up, thank her for, having me on the show, send her a little something.
Oh!
I can note in how we met. So in 3 years when we speak, I'm hoping we will speak more often than once in 3 years. But in case that happened, I could open up your contact record and see exactly how we met, who introduced us, what we've done together, and is there something scheduled to happen that we talked about, so I don't forget it.
Exactly. And I would also say, let's say you're a content creator. So Dr. Elo, I love it whenever you show up, right? I'm just like, I need to reach out to him. We need to have a conversation because he always shows up for me and I want to show up for him. And so I could have a content record where it says hey, these are all the things that he's ever talked about, or he announced that he's going to be launching a course, a new show, or whatever. And I could put in that contact record of hey, this is what I know about him. This is what he's passionate about. This is what he's interested in. I just learned that Michaela has 3 cats it was?
Yes. 3 cats, 2 kids.
Yeah. And so I can deepen our relationship together if I know more about you, right? So absolutely. I know what your hobbies are, what you're passionate about. It's not just saying oh, we're both into social media. Cool. That's common denominator, right? But how do we take that relationship further to really get to know each other? Because again, these days, the importance of having a relationship with someone gets you the fast pass, right? Yeah. If anyone was oh, Stephanie, I heard that you're interested in a CRM, you should check out brand blah blah blah, and I'm but if you're referred by the Mike Alton, I'm oh,
thank you, Mike.
Okay, go to the top of the inbox, then it makes it absolutely helpful. Am I right or am I right? Hell yeah, I'm right.
Oh yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about the differences with Nimble as a CRM. So for those of you that are just joining in, what are the differences of Nimble and other CRMs that are out there? What would you say is ooh, we got this in the bag?
The extensions. Yeah. So we know that nobody likes to interrupt what they're doing. So if we're talking on LinkedIn, we're talking about, setting up a demo, you're very interested in buying our product. I don't want to leave our conversation, open a new tab, log into my CRM, and start typing everything in. So we created an extension you can pull up on LinkedIn. I can just hover over your name. If you're already in my database, you will pop up. I can click on your contact record and I can put any information on there. And Nimble also helps me to build the contact record for me from, the data that's on there. And we also plug into inboxes because people spend most of their time in their inbox. They're, emailing people in their Gmail or Outlook. So we also plug in there. So you don't have to you don't have to leave the place where you're working to put the information into your CRM. So if we're talking, I can, put the information in there, put a note on what we discussed, and immediately I can set up the next step. So then Nimble will remind me, you told Stephanie that you would send her this, so do it.
Yeah, so Ryan was asking, does the Chrome extension work for LinkedIn, for email, Twitter, and all the socials? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so Ryan, one of my playgrounds that I like to hang out online is obviously going to be LinkedIn. And so it makes it so easy. And we're going to show you this too, right? Because Michaela has these awesome screen sharing abilities thanks to Cam. And so what's nice about it, Ryan, is that I could highlight your name, right? And then I could create this contact card to be oh, he watched an episode of Lights, Camera, Live. Or for someone let's say, Dr. Elo, I'd be hey, he showed up for Go Live Now, and he showed up for Lights, Camera, Live, and he showed up for Digital Confetti. That's a super fan to me, And that would make it so much fun to have. And the nice thing about this, for those of you that actually have a virtual team, a remote team, I feel like most of us do have a remote team. But let's say you have a virtual assistant or an executive assistant. I like giving her access to just be like, hey, who is that person that knows this person, blah, blah, blah. And then we could go in there and it's like this mind map of like, oh, these are like the 6 degrees of who knows Mike Alton. Sorry, Mike Alton's always a part of the show. All right. So, Michaela, do you want to jump in and give them a quick peek at what Nimble has to offer? And so, for those of you that are tuning in, take notes, ask your questions. If you have questions, just put a letter, the capital letter Q right before it. That way I could just eyeball it really quickly. And so, while I do that, Michaela's going to go ahead and get all squared away. What we're talking is about why this CRM is so freaking powerful. Because again, earlier today I was showing everyone how much I loved my iPad. And so I would have contacts here and I have notes there. But now I could systematize it and I could get notifications like, you need to reach out to David Hughes Anemone, right? You need to reach out to Ryan Swanstrom. Those are different things that I can do and get reminded of like, hey, when was the last time that I touched base with Michaela, right? Because we don't want to go like 3-year time span, right? Let that lead go cold and you're like, oh yeah, Pants, by the way, can you help me out with something? You have to like warm them up, right? So having said that, let me go ahead and switch this over, Michaela, and we'll change your screen. There you are. There you go. Cool.
Does it look good?
It looks fantastic.
So
walk
here
us
we
through
are
it.
in Nimble. But before I actually talk about it, I know that we discussed the Chrome extension a lot. So you just download it in your Chrome store. And I want to show you how you can actually get people inside of Nimble without having to do basically any typing. So here I am in Twitter. I'm in my Twitter notifications and I see that Stephanie mentioned me. And I want to make sure that she is in my database because I want to make sure that I'm staying in touch with her and we continue to work together. So I can just hover over her. And guess what? She's already in Nimble. Yay. So I can just open up her contact record. I can see her name, who she is, what she does. I see her little bio. If I wanted to add a note on there, so let's say there was literally something we just talked about, I can quickly put a note on her contact record. If we just talk to each other, we have phone call, we had Zoom meeting, anything, we talk on LinkedIn, you can add the activity. You can create as many custom activities as well. So, when we can go to conferences again, we can also mark people based on where we met. So then I can pull up a list of all the people I met at Social Media Marketing World 2022. And let's say we want to do something together next week. I can put it on my calendar straight from here. I can also email you right away.
That's the fun part. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you don't have to interrupt and leave the place, where you're working. You can do everything from here. You can set up a deal as well. I can also set up a stay in touch reminder. I want to be in touch with you weekly, and Nimble will make sure to remind me so I don't forget.
Yep.
I have your contact information. I can also tag you so I can,
You've been live streaming. Yeah. And in fact, so Summer Craig just hopped in and she said, oh man, this is amazing. So I'm trying to build my email list of insurance agents that she worked with over her 20-year career. How would this tool help me? This is what we're showing you in the sense of like you could tag people by specific interest, how you connected, how you touched base. The other thing about this, Summer, that I absolutely love is in the notes, I could be like, oh yeah, Summer is planning to launch blah, blah, blah. And then I could set a reminder in here, right, Michaela, where I could set a reminder like, hey, be sure to touch base with this person because she's launching a course about X, Y, and Z. Maybe you could help her out by inviting her onto your podcast, onto your live stream, and all the things.
Exactly. And that's exactly how we build relationships. We should always be on the lookout for what our friends and partners and influencers in the area are doing. Are they launching a new book? Do they have a new podcast? I saw your email, Mike. So I want to schedule a reminder for myself to make sure that once the podcast comes out, I work with our social team, our content team, and we, promote it for Mike. And if I don't do it, maybe, I'll miss it because there's just so much happening on social all the time. So this can really help you to stay on top of the relationship and really nurture them over time.
Yes. So, for those of you that didn't catch that, this is where you also want to put down your collaborations, right? This is where you want to put like your super sharers, people that are always willing to share your content because they know that the value that you bring, right? So, let's say Brad is throwing out like gems on his show about social media marketing, and he says along the line in my social media feed like, hey, I plan on launching a new podcast. I want to make a mental note of like, how can I support the people that are in my network, right? And so
Hmm.
having that in there, it's going to make it super duper helpful.
And you can even take it a step further and you can build a list of all your friends. You can even import a Twitter list. So when I go into lists, I can basically open up any publicly available Twitter list and I can import them into Nimble. So then I set up the tag. Then I can go inside of Nimble, use our search feature to pull up the tag. And let's say, I want to really help out somebody from my network to promote whatever they're doing. So I can pull up a list of, friends I know that are usually willing to promote other people, and I can send a group message and ask them to do so. And to them, it will actually look like I emailed them from my Gmail or my Outlook, depending on
Okay,
what you
pause.
can enable. Because
This
we're sending it through your email provider, so they will not even know they were part of a group outreach.
And that's just amazing because then once you send out that email about like, hey, I'm launching a new book, I'm launching a new course, or my new show is about to drop, it then in that contact record, it will show you the conversation of what you sent out to them, right?
Exactly. And when you send it, you also see how they're engaging with the message. So if they open, we tell you, and we tell you how many times. If you include a link, hey, go here, check it out, share it, please. You see if they clicked it, and then looking at this, you can follow up with them appropriately. So he opened twice, he clicked once, and but he hasn't done it. So I could send him or her a message, and we also have email templates. So they could
Yeah.
really save you time because you can have templates for all the communications you do on a regular basis. And for the people that haven't even seen it yet, you can have another possibly templated message and send them a follow up, get it on top of their inbox to make sure they do see it and get it done.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, quick question from Summer Craig is like, do I first need people to be in a group? No, you just pull up their profile, whether you're on LinkedIn or even just on
Hmm.
Twitter, right? And you could
Yeah,
add that contact card.
mhm. It works everywhere. So when you're like on like your timeline on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you can just hover over any hyperlink name, and if you have the person in your database, we'll pull up the existing contact record. If you don't have them yet, we will help you create a completely new contact record. So you can
Yeah.
also use this to prospect. You can even like kind of look at who are the people that are engaging with somebody's content. Like who are the people that just liked the video I just created and posted. Or you can go on your competitors Twitter and see who are the people that are engaging with their content, and then you can just like create a list of them like this. Who and you select all of them. You can tag them,
Oh, see, that's brilliant.
create a group, and then you can do the next step with them. You can set up stay in touch reminder for all of them. You can make sure that you do a little bit more research about them. Are they really the right people that I want to have on this list? You have to make sure that you have the right contact information. We also have a contact discovery feature in Nimble,
Uh huh.
so we'll help you find the contact information. If you have the first name, last name, and the company the person works for, will help you find their email address, and many times even more than that. So it really helps you to do everything you need to do to build a relationship with somebody,
Yes.
because
Okay.
you find.
One thing that I want to add in here, because I think this is so cool, is, so Mike Alton said that the Twitter list import is amazing, and he's done that multiple times for conference speakers. So for those of you that are thinking of doing a virtual summit, a virtual conference, things of that sort, what you can do is you could take a look at other conference lists where they have all of the keynote speakers, and then you could import it into this list. Then, right, and you got me going now. Then in Nimble, I could have a template that says, hey, insert name, absolutely love the content that you shared at insert conference name. We are planning our next conference that's going to be this day. Would you be interested? And then I could follow up and see like, okay, did they click the link? Were they interested? If they didn't click the link, then maybe I could warm them up a little bit. I'm like, hey, I just listened to your podcast episode. These are 3 great, amazing things that I had learned. And P.S., by the way, I think you would add a lot of value to our upcoming conference. Think about this, you guys. This is about going beyond just, hey, we both like social media. Hey, we both like live streaming, but now you're deepening that relationship. One of the questions that we have so far for you right now, Michaela, is from David, and he's saying, I love these capabilities. Is it available in Safari as well? Because I think that's his preferred platform. So that works?
So we are just updating the extension. Soon it will be available everywhere. So we'll have it on Microsoft Edge, Safari, Firefox, and Chrome. Everywhere.
Yes. Amazing. And then Irene Chan, who is absolutely amazing. She knows everything about Be Live and live streaming. She says, can you schedule or automate follow-ups? Because we said we could group people, we could tag them, we could send them an email. If that person on that group, right, it'll still look like an individual email. But if they didn't click the link, can you set up kind of like a flow chart? It's like, oh, if Irene didn't open up the email, automatically send out a follow-up email. Can you do that?
Great question. As of now, no. But it is something that's on our roadmap.
Got it. Here's something else that I want to throw on the screen because Summer Craig is here and she always asks like the best questions. She says, okay, wait. I seriously have 800 warm leads I've not yet connected with on social, but that I worked with in my career, and 75% of them have Facebook pages. So what do you recommend that she does first? Would she reach out to them on Facebook, import the list? I'm thinking LinkedIn, especially Summer. I think you said that you did real estate. Was that? Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah. So great question. So, she can do 2 things. If they're already in the list that is ready to be imported, she can import the list into Nimble using a CSV file. She can just save it as a CSV file. And then as she goes on the individual people's contact records in Nimble, which I haven't showed yet what it looks like, and
Sorry.
I will.
I'm like, why is it not going away?
It's okay.
Go ahead.
No, so she can actually open up the contact record in Nimble, and we have some integrations that actually look for some information about the people for you. We will automatically look for their additional social media platforms, so she can learn more about these people while she's in Nimble, or she can do that research while she's on, the particular platform using the browser extension. She can learn a little more about them. And if she decides that they're not the right fit, she doesn't have to add them to Nimble, because like one of our main goals should always be to keep the database clean. So it might be better to, figure out if they're the right fit before you even add them.
Yes. Okay, cool. You guys, again, this is one of the most amazing ways for you to start building those relationships. Personally, for me, things that I put in the contact card is, let's say a lead first reaches out to me. In my mind, I want to know, like, how did they find me? Did they watch the show? Because if they watch the show, then it's like, oh, wow, now they know my personality. I could be like the wonderful, adorable Steph, right? Or did they come in through like a lead magnet? Because that's different, right? It's more like they were thinking about me, but they downloaded something, so maybe I need to warm them up a little bit more. Other things that I generally write down would be like, what's their communication style? I remember as soon as Mike had introduced us, I was like, let's hop on Zoom. I want to see you. I want to like talk to you. I want to learn that way. Or sometimes people just want to communicate with you in DMs. I've had people where they're like, I'm interested in your NLP training. And they only talk to me on DMs. And then when it was like ready, then we would hop on a Zoom. So it's interesting to have all of that. Good, 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 good. Irene Chan is saying this is perfect because, and now it's small. It's because Summer Craig wrote a whole entire paragraph, and I was like, oh my god. So Irene Chan is saying this is perfect. I've been looking for a CRM to organize everything. Yes, Irene, I find this to be extremely helpful because I could organize how I met people, whether it was at a real life conference, so let's say Social Media Marketing World, or if we spoke at the same virtual summit for Agora Pulse, or if they're launching a book, and like I could organize it by live streamers, content creators, podcasters,
Yep.
because you may just have like a client that says, hey, do you know someone that does this? And you're like, oh, well, let me look, right? And so it's as if I've created my own like Google, but of my contacts, where
Yes,
it's not just
exactly.
giving me the name and the phone number, but more about like what have they accomplished recently? What are they sharing on social media? And just so much more.
When was the last time you talked to them? And yeah, like all these important things that you just can't store in your head when you meet so many people at so many different events.
Exactly. Irene is asking, well, how much is Nimble? That's actually a really good question. Do you know that off the top
Yes.
of your head?
So Nimble is $25 per user per month. If you want to pay annually, it goes down to $19 per month per user.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And that's the thing is because I would rather if someone had reached out to me and they went through the whole process of going to lightscameralive.com, filling out the contact submission form, right? That tells me, hey, this person knows how to follow instructions, right? So then I want to develop that relationship. And usually when you have like a discovery call with someone, that's where you really get to learn more about like, okay, what does your product do? What does it stand for? All of that good stuff. And then you could decide, hey, maybe we can work together, you know?
Hmm.
Or if someone doesn't share the same values as you, then you could be like, oh, maybe I won't be a good fit for that, but I know someone else that would be a good
Yeah.
fit, right?
Yeah. And another good feature in Nimble is that you can build lists. So you can have your VIPs, you can tag them, you can mark them using lead status. You can we already talked about how you can mark them based on who referred them, how you met them, and so on. But then you can organize them in the groups. So then when you need to do an outreach, you can pull up the list of your VIPs, or if you're just looking to recommend somebody, you can run another search in your database. You can run search based on location. So if you're going to San Diego, you want to see, hey, who are all the people I know in San Diego? Because now we can again hang out in person. Let's do it. you
Yeah.
know, let's get coffee. So you can pull up a list of all the people that you know in San Diego and send them a message.
Yeah. See, the thing that I love about Nimble too is because having been able to speak at conferences, which is a blessing, sometimes event organizers will reach out and they'll say like, hey, can you recommend somebody for this? And so even in my tags, I could be like, yes, this is an amazing speaker. This is what they talk about specifically. And
Mhm.
then in Nimble, it will connect me to all of their social media channels and be like, oh yeah, what was that thing that they pinned on Twitter? Right? I just like go directly over into their profile. Michaela, Mike Alton is asking a question. He's saying, are there automated integrations or workflows? Like if someone completes a form or a purchase, does that get put together in there?
So we don't have that built into Nimble. We do integrate with over 200 different applications. So I would have to look in the list of our integrations. We do integrate with many lead forms, so that could be captured. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's so cool. So Summers, I told you. Michaela was like, what are we gonna talk about? I was like, trust me, this audience is going to ask you because you guys are absolutely amazing. You always ask the right questions. And so Summer is saying, does this interact with a text app tool? Which I actually find that very, very interesting because some people are moving from email marketing over to calendar marketing. That's what I do.
Mhm.
Some people are now doing like text based
Yeah.
messaging. Is that something that Nimble can integrate with as well?
Not as of now, but yeah, it is a great question. And it's a question I've been getting a lot. And yes, exactly. Some of my favorite brands like Fabletics, I get messages from them all the time. That's how they get me, because my email is a mess. So it is a great question. So I'll talk to the product team.
I know, right? When you get a notification on your phone for an unread message, I'm like, do I really want to read that? I'm like, yes.
True.
Daniel is asking, is Nimble specifically made for US market or does it work within EU too? I feel like it works with wherever you are,
Yeah.
right? It's not
Mhm. Yeah,
location based.
it's a cloud-based app, so you can use it anywhere. We do have a lot of European customers actually.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Summer is asking, calendar marketing, tell me more about that. Summer, we had talked about this, gosh, in one of the digital confetti episodes, but I was talking about like how now when I notify people about the show, I don't have to worry about what to write in an email because I created a calendar invite that people can just automatically have Lights Camera Live be blocked out on their calendar because Michaela, you're probably just like me, like I live and die by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist, right?
Yes.
And so for
Yes,
my
100%.
viewers, it's like if they're gonna block out Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time, they know that they get to hang out with me, right? Because
Mhm.
how often do we get to geek out and nerd about like social media and all the different things? And so it makes it really fun. Summer Craig, the website is Eventable, Eventable, eventtable.com. Cool. All right, Mikhail, what are some other things that you would want to share about Nimble? Because for me, I would say my favorite is the sales funnel. I don't
Mhm.
think you even shared that on the screen, but the sales funnel
No.
is so
Yeah.
cool. You can bring it up if you want to. But you guys listen to this is that when people contact me, they're in they're in a sales funnel. Some of you might know this because you're familiar with sales funnels like ClickFunnels, right? But when I have someone on the phone, right, I know that we just had a discovery call. Cool. So from discovery call to the actual purchase, what needs to happen within there? And that's why I think it's so important to have those follow up reminders of like, hey, what additional questions do you have about NLP training that I could answer for you right now? That way you get slotted and reserve your space. So having said that, let me switch the screen and then we'll share this. There you go.
Yeah. So here we are on your contact record in Nimble. So I opened you up, and then we literally just discussed, working together on live streaming training.
Mm-hmm.
So I can create the deal straight from here. I can add the probability. I'm pretty confident that we will make it happen. And expected close date is at the end of this month. I can add the amount. Expensive. So I can set the primary contact record. So this information will always be on Stephanie's contact record. So whenever myself or somebody else from our team will open up her contact record, they'll know that this is what somebody else from the company is working on. I can also put it into the appropriate stage.
And you could name these stages yourself. So everyone that's watching, whatever your funnels are, you could have like awareness, conversion, whatever it is that you want to do within that time frame, you can map them out. And again, what's so nice about it is you could even see like past activity. She has it on the screen. You could see how many times we were like talking to each other via email. And so it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, she wanted to know this or she wanted to know
Or
that, but I
Twitter.
could put other things in here.
Yeah.
So
So when I
fun.
open it up, I know exactly what we've done, how we met, because I put it in this note here.
Yay!
Again, here he is.
It's who? It's Mike Alton. For those of you who don't know, you totally want to get to know him because he makes these beautiful connections for everyone.
So then I know that there was a deal. And because, as we do a lot together, this can become a little overwhelming. So I can just go into activities directly and I can select a deal. So here we are. So I
Cool.
created this deal, and then Nimble will automatically tie all the information from the contact record and all the history of our communications on email and Twitter and what was on our calendars. So I know exactly, when we met, when was the last time we talked, and are there any notes? I can also add any attachments. So if you send me any resources, the contract, I can also have it stored in here.
Yeah. This is
And
also helpful. I'm going to throw this in there. For those of you that are content creators, live streamers, let's say you worked with brands in 2020 and you completed a project, right? You finished a collaboration together. Instead of just sitting there and be like, "Oh, I wonder when they're going to call me again." This is why you want to have something like Nimble CRM where you're just like, "Hey, I just wanted to check in with you, wanted to wish you a happy new year. These are a couple of things that I'm working on. Would love to hear what you have. Let's set up a time." Right? And that's a great way to use Nimble in that sense. And Michaela, Brad Freeman had jumped in and he's like, "Can you give a quick example on how to segment your contacts?" Brad, I've done things where I'm just like, this is key decision makers. Like, this is the person that I have to convince, because there's usually like one person that's going to vouch for you, but there's another person maybe that has to sign on the dotted line, right? And so for
mhm,
me, if I engage with that person's LinkedIn post, social media, whatever it is, again, I'm staying top of mind and tip of tongue, right?
mhm.
Do you have
And
any other
I already,
suggestions? Oh yeah, you have
yes,
some
100%.
amazing segments.
So this is our database. So when you go through, all the work of bringing all the contacts from everywhere into Nimble, then you have them in here and you want to do something with them. So you need to segment the database in order to do the thing, like send them a group outreach or just create a call list or something. So we have a search segmentation feature. These are just some of the tags that you can use to search your database. You can search your database using any of the default fields that are in Nimble by default when you register for Nimble, and also any custom field. So if you once you sign up for Nimble, you want to make sure that you're capturing all the important information about your prospects and customers. You can create custom fields on the individual contact records and capture what is it they purchased, when, for how much, and any other information. And that information can be searched on as well. So I can do some basic search, like I can come up with all the people that I know in San Diego. Here they
San Diego
are.
crew, yes.
Yay. And then, of course, you can further refine the search by any other field. So I could do title and I could do just CEOs. So who are all my CEOs in San Diego?
Yes. I love that.
So I don't know any CEOs in San Diego, but so I could add education or their birthday. When was the last time we talked? So
Yeah.
if I want to reach out to somebody, I want to see just the people that I talked to in the last, let's say, 20 days. I can do that as well. And it's just you.
I know, because of the
um,
holidays, right?
and yeah, I can do the custom fields. I can also um, do some social fun
Yeah.
stuff. So I can just pull up a list of all the people that I have in my Nimble database that have more than 25,000 followers. So really, depending on why you're creating the outreach, you can use any existing um,
Yeah.
tags or any that you created, and then of course you can take the next steps. So I select everybody on the list, and then I could change the owner. I can assign them all to me. I can also make them all private. I can export it if I need to, or I can send the group message,
Yeah.
and I can have, let's say, a
Templates
templated
are
message
like
here.
brilliant. Yep. Here's the other thing that I was thinking about this. I keep bringing up Brad's comment on the screen because, Brad, over the holidays, I was really thinking of like, who do I need to contact in 2021, right? Because some businesses, some brands, they could be thinking to themselves where it's like, do I only want to work consulting one on one, or do I want to work with associations, like let's say training development associations, or do I want to work with agencies? If I want to work with organizations, how large of an organization?
Mhm.
So some are like maybe insurance agents where the office maybe has like maybe 5 or 10 agents, or are we talking about like enterprise level? And so those are a lot of things that I typically segment people by, because I find that my superpower is networking. right? Just like
Mhm.
Mike Alton, where it's like, if I know someone, I know someone else. If I don't know them, then there's probably someone in my network that I can map it out and be like, oh, 6 degrees of separation. One question that we have for you, Michaela, is coming from Daniel, and he's saying, which social media platforms are included? So I
Yes.
already saw like Facebook, LinkedIn. What else is there?
So great question. In terms of our direct integration, we only directly integrate with Twitter, meaning as you connect Twitter to Nimble and then you go on somebody's contact record, you can see, when you connected, and you can see all the tweets you have exchanged. You can see, what the person is talking about on Twitter directly, within Nimble. And you can also see all your DMs. So not just your emails, but you can also see, all the tweets and all the DMs. And then indirectly, we integrate with all the other ones. We used to directly integrate with all of them, but Facebook and LinkedIn, they don't want to play anymore. So we have the browser extension. So you can pull it up on anywhere, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and hover over or highlight a name anywhere. And this also works on the web. So if you're on the conference's website, you go to the section of the speakers. If you want to put all the speakers into a list, you just highlight them one by one, tag them, put them in the list of speakers of the certain conference, and then you have the list. Then you can use to start nurturing the people, building relationships, and reaching out to them and start working with them. So it
Yeah.
works everywhere, and also in like a third-party applications. So if you use QuickBooks Online, Zero, Mailchimp, if you use another CRM, you can just pull it up, and it works anywhere on the web, basically. So you can hover over any name anywhere, create new contact records, or pull up existing ones, and then update them or schedule the next steps.
I love it. I love it. All right. So, for those of you that still have questions about Nimble, go ahead and start thinking about them right now. Type them in the comments. I want to give a quick shout out over to Restream, who is sponsoring Lights Camera Live. For those of you who don't know, we actually go live on multiple platforms. So, let me give you a quick spiel about who they are and what they do. And so, let me switch the screen real quick, and then we'll give you the right camera. Oh, there I am. So if you haven't heard of Restream.io, it's a way for you to go live on multiple platforms. So if you haven't already noticed, we have people tuning in from all over the world. We have people on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and all the different Facebook groups that are out there. And so let me give you a quick overview of who they are. So you could go live on. And the thing that I love about this the most is that not only that, you also get the opportunity to have a studio. So if you just saw how easy it is for me to bring in a guest, this is exactly how you do that. You could go live on multiple channels. You also get the analytics. So if you're doing this for your brand or for a client, it will let you know like where viewers are tuning in from on which platform. So you could decide, hey, I only want to go live on Facebook, or I only want to go live on LinkedIn. These are all the different things that you can do. You could brand your show. You could do all the amazing things. All you have to do to check it out is head on over to restream.io, and then you're all set and good to go. So having said that, let's see if there's any other additional questions that we have about Nimble's CRM, because you guys, I'm telling you, this is so much fun. I want you to start looking at like who your biggest supporters are, right, from 2020 or even before. And then who do you want to get to know in 2021? Maybe there's like a content creator that's out there or an event organizer. You're like, man, I've been meaning to like get in touch with that person, right? Who do I know that might be connected to that person? Anything else that you'd want to add, Michaela?
Yeah, and just making sure that you do mark your VIPs, that you do on consistent basis. Keep an eye on what they're talking about on social, and making sure if you see them launching anything, talking about like needing help with anything, mark it somewhere, schedule a reminder for yourself, and do it for them, because that's how we extend our networks. That's how we, do more business. People love to reciprocate. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we are consistently paying it forward. And I think that's like the basics. Like, you always want to know who your biggest fans are, and do as much as you can for them.
Yeah.
And build your network through them.
I love when you said that it's about expanding and extending your network. As soon as you said that, I was like, yes, because when it comes to Lights Camera Live, it's about like extending my hand and saying, how can I help you level up your business with live streaming? And by me extending my hand over to you to help you, I'm hoping that it's going to expand your business and help you grow. And then if you know anyone else that is interested about leveling up their live stream, then hopefully you'll send them over my way. I want to give a quick shout out to Daniel because Daniel he's a loyal viewer of the show. Again, this is why I absolutely love it when you guys tune in and when you comment, because I remember you. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, my memory is like, boom, I know exactly who you are. So Daniel had asked, I'm about to launch my company this year, so I need to use an easy CRM. I jumped on late, so can you give me a brief explanation? What are key advantages from Nimble compared to other platforms? I'll start first. I will say, Daniel, if you are generating leads across multiple platforms, even on email, submission forms, LinkedIn, all the different things, the Chrome extension, man, that's money. That's money. I just highlight the name, add the contact in, and I know how we've met. I know how we've connected. I know topics of interest. Michaela, is there anything else that you would want to add to that?
He mentioned that he needs something that's easy to use. I can say that it's easy to use, but we do hear that from our customers. And because we do integrate into your inbox and we give you the browser extension that you can use on social media, in any third-party applications, anywhere on the web, it really does make it easy to bring the people in right away. Because the worst thing is when you sign up for a CRM or any application to, just bring all the people in and then kind of get lost because you don't know what to do with them. So I think having the extensions is like a nice stepping stone and introduction into the CRM, because first it's in your native environment. You're not like dumped into a new interface that you're not familiar with. So you can literally just start using the extensions and add people in there and then start working from the information that you put in there about
Love
them.
it. Love it. Daniel's also asking, how does the extensions of Microsoft Office 365 with Nimble look like? I don't use Office 365, so I'm curious to hear what your answer is on that too.
Yeah. So we plugged into Outlook. I might actually be able to
Yeah, give it a shot.
show that,
Let's do
since
it.
we're all about showing today. So,
Yes. That's the fun part about it.
okay. So
Okay, here you go.
let me know if you can see my Outlook.
Yep, we see it.
So once you install the app, you first have to register for a trial. We have a 14-day trial, no commitment. We won't ask you for any credit card information, so you can just check it out, see if it would work for you. And then you go to your add-ins in Outlook, search for Nimble, plug it in, and you open up an email. Click on the little Nimble extension here. We'll already know that, it's Yajas that you're engaging with. If you don't have the person in Nimble, you'll be able to add them in with a click of one button. And so I already have him here. And then we're talking about something. He wants to schedule a call. So I click on this plus sign button and I can create the call, or I can put on a note on his contact record in Nimble to make sure that I don't forget what we discussed, because,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 35 emails later, I don't really know what we discussed in the first one. So,
I was
no,
like
no.
35 emails there. I'm like, after 5 Amazon drop offs and the doorbell, after dinner and all the things. Yeah, it's easy to like lose a post-it note. But when you create this system, right, where like, I need to follow up with this person, it makes it so much easier for me to plan out my day. Like, I could go into Nimble because you have this amazing dashboard. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to reach out to Brookby Sellis, which, P.S., by the way, she just totally commented and she said, Lurv me some Nimble. I was just showing a client around today who recently started using it. So, you guys, if you want to model after success, take a look at Brookby Sellis. If she's already using Nimble CRM, if I'm already using Nimble CRM, then you definitely want to take advantage of it, right? Yes or yes? Yes.
So, and I mentioned we also plug into Gmail. So for people that are not Outlook people, that are Gmail people, this is what it looks like on Gmail. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it there. You can just invite it when you do want it. So that's
Got it.
also a question we get a lot.
You know, Michaela, we do have a very interesting question, and I love that this question just came up. So, a LinkedIn user had asked, is it GDPR compliant? So, is it General Data Protection Regulation compliant? Good question,
Yes,
whoever that
we
was.
are
I'm sorry your
compliant.
name didn't pop up, but go for it.
Yes, we are GDPR compliant.
Got it. Good, 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 good. And it makes sense because for me, I feel like you're following up with someone. If you've already had them in your contact, or sometimes like Ecamm, we have like an Ecamm VVIP list where it's like, hey, Ecamm is rolling out new features. And then so Katie will email all of us. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to get to know Kevin a little bit more, or I need to know like Lemuel a bit more. And so I'll add them into there, and then I'll create a reminder for myself of like, hey, relationship bank account. I need to go and like check out what Lem is doing or what is Doc doing, so that way I could build that relationship for them. So yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So everyone, if you absolutely love today's episode, if your mind is now swimming with all these ideas of how you could build these strategic partnerships, Michaela, what is the best way for them to reach out to you or to even just learn more about Nimble?
Hmm. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm always happy to jump on a Zoom or something else and do a demo. People can reach me at michaela@nimble.com. You can also find me on Twitter and LinkedIn, but email is just like the easiest way. And I host webinars. To be completely honest, it's notification overload. So email is
Yeah.
the easiest way.
See,
And
so
to
now,
learn, Mhm.
so now that you just said that email is your preferred way of communication, see, in my mind, I was instantly like, oh, I need to put that in my contact card. Don't try to DM her, right? Her preferred method is going to be email. So I would put that in your contact card. Awesome. Go for
I
it.
will check my DMs, but I will check my email a million times a day. So I'll probably get to you faster.
I love it. So shout out to Brad Freeman who is saying mind blown. Yes, Brad,
Hey,
this
Brett.
is literally it. This is one of those things where it's an opportunity for you to really check this out. Greg Adams is asking for a link in the chat. The Can you recall what the is it Nimble?
Oh,
Nimble.com, right?
nimble.com. Yes. So
Nimble.com, that's going to be the
people,
best place to go.
yep.
Yep.
That's where people can learn more. And if people go under resources, the first option should be webinars. I also host weekly training webinars. So every other week, I do a complete walkthrough the application. I show the mobile application, and in between, I focus on like specific features. So I covered just deals. I go into details on how to create custom fields, or how to use the segmentation feature, how to use it to clean up your database. So that's also another, I think, good way to learn more about the product, and if it would be a good fit.
Absolutely. Absolutely love it. And hey, for those of you that are tuning in, I know that you are content creators because that's why you watch Lights Camera Live. There are those of you that have your own Facebook groups. And so if you want to, have an expert like Michaela come through and share this with your network, because we all know that our networks, our groups all are always looking for value. I'm going to say to you, she she dropped value on here, okay? Like this was good stuff. She took the time out to walk us through this. She took the time to walk me through this, and so thank you so much for being here for Lights Camera Live. And I hope that
Thank you.
everyone falls in love with Nimble CRM as much as I have, because this has truly, truly been a blessing. And to be honest with you, I probably made like 5 sales that I was able to track over the holidays. Yes, yes, and it's so much fun. I feel like it's gamified. Because then I have like the contact record at, this is a awareness. This person reached out to me, and then it's just like Monopoly. I move them over, and I'm like, ooh.
Oh yeah, drag and drop it.
All right, awesome. One last question from Daniel, who's asking for the Nimble CRM general overview. What time of the day are they? I guess it doesn't have the time zone.
Oh yeah. Probably after you click sign up, it will take you to that. They happen at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern. We do record them, and if you register, we will automatically send you the recording. So if it doesn't work for you, you can still get the content. And of course, we also put them on YouTube, so they're available there. But if you want to join me live and it works, I would love to see you there.
Yes, love it. Join her live because she will answer your questions. That's the thing about showing up is that when you show up, you get to meet people that absolutely rock, like Michaela. So, for those of you, everyone that showed up, Vladimir, Brad, Mike, Daniel, you're absolutely amazing. Summer, thank you so much. For those of you that are catching the replay, wasn't this good? Wasn't she amazing? All right.
Thank you so
So,
much for
everyone,
having me.
enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Lights Camera Live. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.